Nobody really warns us about what it feels like to grow old. One day, you notice your body slowing down, friends are no longer around as much, and suddenly, life feels very different. These are things people rarely talk about, yet every one of us will face them sooner or later. But here's the truth. Understanding them early doesn't just prepare you. It gives you the power to make the years ahead more meaningful, less lonely, and even more fulfilling. Today, we'll uncover the 6 hardest truths about aging that almost no one dares to mention, but that you absolutely need to hear. As our body changes, we also start to notice shifts in our social world. Friend we counted on for years may slowly drift away. 1. Your body doesn't always obey you anymore. One of the first and hardest truths about aging is realizing that your body doesn't always respond the way it used to. Maybe you wake up in the morning with stiff joints, or you find yourself getting tired after a short walk that once felt effortless. Tasks that were once second nature, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even bending down to tie your shoes, can suddenly feel like small challenges. This change often comes as a shock, because in our minds we still feel young. The spirit remains vibrant, but the body begins to show signs of slowing down. And it's not just about strength or stamina. Reaction times are slower, balance feels less steady, and aches seem to appear without reason. It can be frustrating, even discouraging, when you realize your body doesn't always obey your will. But here's the hopeful side. Awareness gives you power. By accepting these changes, you can adapt in smart ways. Gentle exercise, stretching, and regular movement can make a world of difference. Small adjustments in daily routines, like pacing yourself or using supportive tools, don't mean weakness. They mean wisdom. Aging may slow the body, but with care and patience, it doesn't have to steal your independence or joy. Let's start with something almost everyone notices first as they age. The way our own body seems to have a mind of its own. 2. Friends slowly disappear. Another truth about aging that few people talk about is how friendships begin to fade. Over the years, the circle of people around you naturally grows smaller. Some friends move to be closer to family. Others are caught up in their own busy lives. And sadly, some pass away. What used to be a lively network of familiar faces can slowly turn into quiet afternoons and fewer phone calls. This change can feel deeply lonely. We may remember the days when we were surrounded by laughter, long conversations, and the comfort of people who understood us without explanation. Now, silence often replaces those voices, and it's easy to feel left behind. Loneliness is not just an emotional struggle. It can affect our health, our outlook, and even our desire to keep moving forward. But there is hope. While some friendships fade, new connections are always possible. Many seniors find joy in joining community activities, volunteering, or even embracing technology to stay in touch with loved ones. Building new relationships doesn't replace the old ones, but it can bring fresh light into our lives. The truth is, while friends may disappear, our ability to connect, share, and love never really goes away. Let's start with something almost everyone notices first as they age. The way our own body seems to have a mind of its own. 3. Independence slips away. One of the toughest parts of aging is realizing that independence doesn't last forever. For most of our lives, we pride ourselves on being able to handle everything, driving where we want, cooking our meals, managing a household, and making decisions without needing anyone's help. But as time goes on, some of these abilities slowly become more difficult. It might start small, struggling to read fine print on a medicine label, feeling nervous driving at night, or forgetting a step in a familiar recipe. Later, tasks like lifting heavy groceries, climbing stairs, or keeping up with housework may no longer feel safe or practical. These changes can be frustrating because they challenge our sense of control. No one likes the idea of relying on others, especially after decades of self-reliance. Yet, here's the important truth. Accepting help is not weakness. It's a way of protecting your safety and peace of mind. Family members, neighbors, or community services are often willing to lend a hand, not out of pity, but out of love and respect. By allowing support, you can preserve your energy for things that truly bring you joy. Independence may shift, but it doesn't disappear. It simply takes on a new form, where sharing responsibilities can actually make life richer and more fulfilling. And as these changes accumulate, something else becomes clear. Time feels like it's moving faster than ever. For time feels shorter than ever. One of the most surprising realizations about aging is how quickly time seems to pass. When we were young, a year felt endless. Summer stretched on forever, and waiting for birthdays or holidays felt like an eternity. But as we grow older, the months seem to slip by faster, and years pass almost in the blink of an eye. This shift often brings mixed emotions. On one hand, it makes us more aware of how precious every single day truly is. On the other, it can stir up regret, wishing we had more time, or that we had used the past differently. Suddenly, every birthday feels less like a celebration, and more like a reminder. Time is no longer endless. Yet, this awareness can be a gift. Knowing that time feels shorter encourages us to focus on what really matters. It's a gentle push to stop delaying joy, to reconnect with loved ones, to savor small moments, and to let go of grudges or unnecessary worries. While we can't slow the clock, we can make every hour count more deeply. Aging reminds us that time may feel shorter, but meaning can feel greater if we choose to live with intention. Along with the rush of time, our health begins to take center stage, turning routine checkups and medications into a regular part of life. 5. Health becomes a constant conversation. As the years go by, health slowly moves to the center of everyday life. Doctor visits, test results, medications, and new aches or pains become regular topics of conversation. What once was just an occasional checkup now turns into a routine that shapes your weeks and months. For many, it can feel like life is measured not in adventures or milestones, but in appointments and prescriptions. It's not only about the body. It's also about how much space these health concerns take in our minds. Worrying about blood pressure, remembering which pill to take, or waiting for lab results can create a sense of unease. Talking about health becomes almost unavoidable, whether with friends, family, or doctors. Sometimes it even feels like every conversation ends up circling back to medical issues. But there's another side to this truth. Focusing on health is also a reminder of the value of life itself. Every effort to eat well, stay active, or follow treatment plans is an investment in more time and better days. While it's true that health becomes a constant conversation, it can also be a source of empowerment. By taking care of the body you have now, you give yourself the best chance to keep enjoying the moments that truly matter. Finally, when all these changes settle in, it's natural to start thinking more about the end and what it all means to the life we've lived. 6. You start thinking more about the end. Perhaps the hardest truth about aging is the growing awareness of life's final chapter. In our younger years, death feels distant, something that happens to other people. But as we get older, it becomes more real. Friends pass away, health challenges arise, and quiet moments of reflection remind us that our time is not unlimited. This realization can feel heavy. It may bring fear, sadness, or even regret about things left undone. Late at night, some people find themselves wondering what legacy they'll leave behind, or if they've truly lived the life they wanted. Thinking about the end is not easy, and it's a subject many prefer to avoid. Yet, there's also a strange kind of peace in accepting this truth. Knowing that life has an end can make us more grateful for each sunrise, every conversation, and all the small joys we still experience. It encourages us to say, I love you more often, to mend broken relationships, and to live with purpose rather than waiting for someday. Aging teaches us that while we can't escape the end, we can shape the journey toward it with dignity, meaning, and love. These truths may feel heavy, but recognizing them can actually bring clarity, peace, and even new opportunities to live fully. Let's wrap up what they really teach us. Aging is not easy, and the truths we've talked about are often the ones people try to hide or ignore. Bodies slow down, friendships fade, independence shifts, time feels shorter, health takes center stage, and thought of the end become more real. These are difficult realities, but they are also reminders of something deeply important. Every stage of life has its own kind of wisdom and beauty. The key is not to fear these truths, but to face them with courage and acceptance. When we acknowledge what is happening, we free ourselves from denial and discover new ways to adapt, grow, and thrive. Aging may bring challenges, But it also brings perspective, the ability to see what really matters, to let go of what doesn't, and to live more fully in the present moment. So yes, there are hard truths about growing older, but within those truths lies a powerful opportunity to cherish each day, nurture meaningful connections, and leave behind a legacy of love and resilience. Aging is not the end of the story. It's simply a new chapter, one that can still be rich, purposeful, and deeply fulfilling.